Lego games. No doubtly the best thing about them are the characters, and with 9 different films, 13 DLCs, you can say that this game has a lot. Like 422 to be exact. And here are 20 of the best. If you ever remember putting one of these bad boys on for the first time in the complete saga, knows that you never wanted to take it off. You just felt so cool. But in the Skywalker saga, they brought a DLC that had some pretty cool stormtroopers, like the Flame Trooper or the new Snow Trooper. But the number 20th spot has to go to the Death Trooper. Any stormtrooper covered all in black you know isn't one to be messed with. But what makes this character so fun to play with is the satisfying sound his gun makes every time you shoot. I just can't get enough of it. And the only reason why it isn't any higher is because at 19th spot is this Stormtrooper, the Mimban Stormtrooper. Now the design for this Stormtrooper is no doubtably much better than the Death Trooper. It has a pretty unique cape, and when your finisher throws a grenade up in the air for you to catch it to blow up, you know you deserve this spot. And did you know that the villain class isn't able to use grapples? I didn't figure this out until I played this level. Meet the Hutts. Now, Mama the Hutt is supposed to be a female, but definitely sounds like a dude.
Quit trying to make me work. I'm rested.
If you're wondering why this character deserves this spot, it's simply because of the design of the character. It's much better than Jabba the Hutt, and not only that, the developers of this game put so much effort into its animation and its combat, you just have so much fun doing it. And you can tell that the developers of this game had so much fun trying to make these characters as gross as possible. I mean, just look at these moves and the sounds. The sounds get me. Speaking of fun characters, at the number 17 spot, we have Han Solo Carbonated. Definitely an unexpected character, but also a welcomed one. If you haven't played this character, then you may notice when you do, that this has no limits in terms of gravity. It has a finishing move that will put the high ground to shame. Did you know, if you take a closer look at the carbonated Han Solo, you can tell that it's the classic version instead of the newer one. Either that or he fixed his hair just before he got carbonated. Well, looks like he fixed his hair. Now, this next character can not only deflect blaster bolts, but can also give you bonus studs and may come as a shock to some of you. C-3PO. That's right, this character not only can deflect blaster bolts, but can also give you bonus studs when translating. He can also send a shockwave when breaking into 2. And besides going into tiny spaces, he can also break dance, and whenever he walks with his other half, he does this little clap. That's pretty cool. And C-3PO really does deserve this spot because out of the 2 characters, since the complete saga, C-3PO has grown the most. I mean, he has literally upgraded tenfold. Not saying there's anything wrong with the old C-3PO, but this C-3PO is definitely much better. And I would have said R2, but I still haven't forgiven them for taking this ability away. What a disappointment.
Punch it!
Go! Hold on to your seat, because these next 5 characters you may not totally agree with, but if you let me explain, you may understand the reason why. Especially when I tell you that Rey is in 2 of these spots.
Go! Goodness me!
In at number 15 had to go on design alone, because a lot of these Mandalorians did look pretty cool. But even though Bo-Katan did have a pretty cool helmet, I had to give it to Gar Saxon because that visor, that just looks so good. I also didn't like the voiceover characters they chose for Boba Fett. It was the younger version instead of the older version of Boba Fett. It just didn't make sense to me. And even though I like Jango Fett's design, shiny design, I will say the black and red, it just hits different. But by the end of it, I just took one look and I thought, well, his is the only one that glows. And looks pretty good too in the dark. In at number 14 is Rey, and more importantly, Starkiller Base Rey. Not only does this character have the abilities of a scavenger, but also a lightsaber, which is pretty useful because you have all the abilities of the lightsaber and the scavenger combined. When you combine the splash damage of the cannon and the lightsaber, Skywalker Rey has nothing on Scavenger Rey. If we take a look at every single category in this game, you'd find that the hero category has the most with 19 different characters, but I found myself the most interesting category would have to go to the extras. With a grand total of 78 different characters, I find that it has some of the most interesting and best looking characters. And some pretty evil ones too, like this torture droid who's programmed to torture its own kind. And to enjoy it too. Which is pretty messed up. And probably is the only category that has some of the most unique molds, like this droid, who has some pretty adorable animation. But next on this list at the 13th spot is Mr. Bones, with some very interesting voice lines.
New friends, I hope you last longer than the others.
And a design that is much different from its predecessors. You can definitely say that this character stands out from the rest. Besides his design alone, his fight animation is one that piqued my interest. Because the only other character I know that does this is the Bad Batch DLC character, Hunter. If you have played both of these characters, then you would know that this character is so much better than Hunter. By just listening to this character, you can definitely tell that he enjoys taking apart every last piece of these stormtroopers.
This is too tame for Mr. Bones.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling about the next one because I know some of you guys definitely won't agree with me.
What? It's the mask, isn't it?
Because double-bladed lightsabers are way better than single ones.
Huh?
Except for the ones that make you fly. That's just stupid. Whoever thought of that needs to get fired. Playing any LEGO character with a double-bladed lightsaber is pretty cool. I remember in the complete saga, unlocking Darth Maul was a must, because the only thing better than a double-bladed lightsaber was probably having 4 of them, and there is only one character that had that. The bad news, however, is every single character that came after the 2 original double-bladed lightsabers was just a copy and paste in terms of moveset and fight animation. Grand Inquisitor may have a double-bladed lightsaber, but he never actually uses it, only in the still animation. So that cancels him out, and the others, they just copy either Darth Maul or Sith Rey, so I can't really include them either because there's nothing really unique about them except for their look. So if I had to pick between Darth Maul and Sith Rey, I'm gonna have to give it to Sith Rey. Simply because of how Rey's lightsaber looks and the way it folds up, and the static it has around it is a lot cooler than Darth Maul's simple double-bladed lightsaber. No! And when you involve the fighting animation, it is a lot more fun fighting with Rey than it is to fight with Darth Maul, simply because of how unique her fighting style is and how overused Darth Maul is with other characters. And I can't be the only one who thinks that Rey was a much better Sith than Kylo ever was. When you have lightning coming out your hands and the granddaughter of Palpatine, it's just a dead giveaway that you should have been the villain. Just saying.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Droid attack on the Wookiees. About the droid attack on the Wookiees. Attack on the Wookiees.
That's right, on the 11th spot is Ki-Adi-Mundi, just because of the droid attack against the Wookiees.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Oh, sorry. I'm sure you're already well aware.
Enough said. Now we're down to our top 10, and I'm sure you guys will definitely agree with me with these selections.
Look at this. Look at this.
In at number 10 we have Chewbacca, and not because he's cute and fluffy, but because he has one of the most brutal finishers in any LEGO game. And the fact that they brought it back from the complete saga means he deserves this spot. Next up at number 9 we have Cad Bane, and it's not just because of his cool looking design, because we all know how he looked in previous games. I don't know what's up with that one. But when you unlock all the abilities in the Bounty Hunter class, his gunfire is overpowered. Just by comparing him with other characters that have dual-wielded pistols, his gunfire rate is absolutely insane and will shred any waves of enemy. Even boss battles, if you put him up against characters like Boba Fett, he will shred through his health bar like there's no tomorrow. The only thing that could have made him 10 times better is if they brought back his little jet boots like they did in the Clone Wars. That would have been cool. And the next character I was going to put on the list was the smallest and one of the most expensive characters, which was Babu Frick, coming around 500,000 studs. But I just realized for 500,000 studs, this character may be the smallest and has one of the most unique molds, but he can't really do much, only go through little vents. So I decided to pick this character instead.
Fulfill your destiny.
That's right, Supreme Leader Snoke. I didn't realize this before, but he's the only Sith character that doesn't need a lightsaber, because his fighting animation consists of him throwing people in the air, to the ground, and all the way around, and even making them do these little twirls, which I didn't notice before. But probably the coolest thing about this character is its slam abilities with the Force Lightning. Now that's pretty cool. And you gotta respect any Sith Lord that can pull these robes off.
Take that ridiculous thing off.
Coming in at number 7 is a big character, and is definitely worth the 500,000 studs it costs to unlock, the Rancor. And the reason why I say that is because the best thing about this character is farming for studs. In order to get rich in this LEGO game, using a Rancor to destroy every object in your way is a great way to get rich. And not only that, but it's also very fun. And if you haven't tried it, then you definitely should.
Yeah, that gate looked heavy. Sorry about that. No hard feelings?
In the 6th spot, I had to choose between Palpatine and Dooku. Unlike many other lightsaber users, Count Dooku has his own unique fighting animation. With one hand behind his back, you can tell that the developers paid close attention to this character. However, with a fighting style like Palpatine's and 4 different skins, and did I forget to mention, have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
We can't keep doing this. You have told me countless times.
So the 6th spot had to go to Palps.
Excellent. Everything is going as planned.
And rolling in at number 5 is the Droidekas. Traveling with this character couldn't get any more satisfying. With ray shields and firepower that can rival Cad Bane's, there ain't no other character that deserves this spot better than the Droidekas. And of course you can't forget this cool takedown it does. Now rolling around as a Droideka may be satisfying, but have you ever held the Darksaber? Because Moff Gideon is coming up next, and it's simply because of the satisfaction you have when playing with this character. Shooting blaster bolts and swinging around that Darksaber and the sound it makes is just so satisfying. However, it would have been so much better if you had the ability to block with the Darksaber. Imagine fighting Darth Vader while holding the Darksaber. That would have been cool.
Now, fulfill your destiny.
And now, these next 3 positions, I didn't waste any time when trying to figure out the top 3. I guarantee you guys won't disagree with me, because if you do, you're wrong. What? If you remember me saying that a double-bladed lightsaber is better than a single one, then you will also remember that anything better than that has to have 4. That's right. General Grievous takes the 3rd position. He may not have any force abilities, but his fine animation is definitely better than most characters on this list. Every time they made a LEGO General Grievous, it just got better and better, and with this final edition, they made the best one yet. I had so much fun playing as General Grievous when facing off Count Dooku because he was able to grab him in the face and throw him around, and not only that, but when you do the spinning ability, there is nothing that he can do. But the biggest downside of this character is not being able to get into duels like you can with other Siths and Jedi, due to him being in the villain class. And speaking of Jedi, the next position goes to this character. Now I know I'm not the only one that's glad that we have another character that has a yellow lightsaber, because Rey, just no. Even though he was the last character to be added to this game, he can definitely go down as one of the best. And it's not just because of his cool looking design, but because of his animation. Bringing a blaster to a lightsaber duel may not be civilized, but is definitely unexpected.
Who are you? Rey Skywalker.
The Mandalorian. Having the ability to clone characters was once a glitch, but now is an actual ability that only the Mandalorian has due to Grogu. And it's an ability that we can all agree is so much fun to play with. Being able to clone your own LEGO armor is a feat that not many can accomplish, but in this game, anyone can do it. And if you want to know a satisfying clone to do, then I suggest you clone an army of Jedi, because that's pretty satisfying.